But here's the thing, Heavenly. I don't know how much you've watched this show, but as much as I love Twitch, and I really do, I also love Twitter. And there are 3 posts on your Twitter account that I have here. I just want to talk about.
No, my God.
Okay, all right, so quick. What do you mean? No, again, this is
Okay,
more public.
Okay, great.
Are you ready for the first one?
Yeah, I'm scared.
All right, let's live this one.
It's gonna be the pickle.
Wow, straight. You've been watching my notes. You've been reading my notes. Ladies and gentlemen, Heavenly Reyna. Heavenly, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What you been up to? What did you do today?
Today, I woke up and I had a session with my acting coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was revamping my Patreon a little bit.
Nice.
And I put original song snippets on there, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna post one today. And then I was like, I was gonna post one that was a year old or something, and so I was listening to it, and I was like, I'm gonna just re-record this.
This whole thing.
I'm just gonna re-record this whole thing and post it.
Jeez,
So,
that's a jam-packed day. And then you also went live before this.
And then I did, and then I drove here and I went live.
Jeez Louise. Reyna, well, I hope to be at least, your couple hour break here, all right? This will be smooth sailing. I am pumped to have you here.
I feel like I need to turn my ring light up or something.
If you would like, I mean, it looks
I do that?
It looks calming on my end. It looks like
Does it?
Yeah, like it's a little coffee shop vibe here. I don't know.
Okay.
It's up to you. If you would like to, I'm not going to press. All right. I mean, whatever you'd like. All right,
Give me 1 sec.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Back.
Do your thing.
I don't even know if it'll look any better, but
meh.
Wow, no.
Is that a okay? I need to ask.
Okay, let's see.
There you go. Okay, a
Is that better?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I see it. I gotta ask. In the background, is that a salt lamp?
No. It's from AliExpress.
Dang. Because I have that same little glow effect too. I wanted that. That feels nice. It feels nice.
Is yours a salt lamp?
Yeah, it is. It's also to good vibes only here in this room.
Good vibes only.
Clearly. But Heavenly, thank you so much again for taking time out of your day to be a part of this show. I start these shows off the same way, and I always tell the guests how you and I get connected. And, as big as Twitch is as a platform, we have so many mutual friends. I mean, we're talking from Sorry to Hayden to MDD, everyone in between. And time again, I would be asked, so when you getting Heavenly on? I had some people in the communities, mutual communities, same thing. When you getting Heavenly on? And so it was one of those things where I was like, all right, time and place. I know we can do this. And so the soft introduction was having you on the rock, paper, scissors tournament that we did, which you
I don't want to talk about it.
Why? What was so bad? What happened? How long did you last? You lasted 2 rounds, right? Or
yeah, and then that's why it hurts so bad.
Oh, well, you'll have another shot at it, all right? You'll have
Oh
another
my God.
shot come January or sometime around there. But that was the way in, and then we talked about it. You were able to find time in your schedule, and here we are today. So let's start off at the top. All right, Heavenly, we're going to talk a little bit about your time here on Twitch and introduction into your content. So that being said, how long have you had a Twitch account in general? I'm talking even before you were streaming, if that applies.
So I had never been on Twitch before I started streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I've had an account since I think February or March of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this whole trauma, which I've talked about a few times. Trauma is a broad word. But where I had an account. I was Heavenly Reyna. And and for some reason Twitch shadow banned my account.
What?
I don't know how it happened, but I was nobody got any notifications I was live. I wasn't showing up in their following list. I wasn't even showing up if like they searched my name. Like only like clips would come up. Yeah. It was like so strange. And so I was like, I don't know what to do. And then a couple of my mods were like, just delete your account and like make a new one. And I was like, oh my God, fine, I'll do it.
So you had this account in February or March of 2020. When did you make the new one?
Like September 1st.
September 1st. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. So you created this account, went through all that trouble of trying to figure out, all right, am I shadow banned? How do I get about this? And I'm assuming you had no answers. There was no closure to that.
No.
Dang. Well, what even going back from that, what brought you here into this purple platform? What made you originally even be interested in joining here on Twitch?
What made me a purple princess?
Yeah.
What might I say? I used to street perform. I used to street perform like every week on 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. And when the pandemic like started, I wasn't performing like at all. I was kind of like feeling very lost and like just unsure of like anything, and I was very isolated. Like I know that everybody was isolated for like a period of time, and like most people like it was hard for like everyone. I was isolated for like a year and a half.
Dang.
Like complete isolation. And so Twitch was like the thing that like honestly like saved me, because I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't been like able to stream, because I was streaming like 5 days a week for like 4 hours at a time when I first started streaming, and I've like knocked it down a bit, but like for the first like year that I was streaming, or like 7 months or so, I was streaming like a lot because I didn't have anything else. Like that was all I had, because acting was being like really slow and music was also like being slow. So it was just like, okay, this is what's kind of coming up right now.
Yeah.
So
well, see, that's fascinating, because you and I would say we're cut from the same cloth, where we're not traditional Twitch users. You know, when Twitch really started gaining its traction was around the time of the pandemic, but it's known as a gaming platform. So how did you find out that, oh, Twitch is this place that I can go live, but also display my talents of music specifically?
Well, I had heard about like a few other artists who had kind of migrated to Twitch because they couldn't like perform live. And so I was like, okay, why don't I check it out and see? Because I was streaming, I was doing like live streams on Instagram once a week. And it wasn't like I liked it, but like it wasn't like very like fulfilling, you know, like it just like there was something missing. And for like a while when I started, like Twitch was like difficult when I started, because I'm not like a super social person. Like I can be very shy and like introverted and like very private. Unless I'm like really comfortable with somebody, then like I kind of like get out of my shell more. But like the whole concept of just like streaming to people is scary, especially when you have like, you know, not that many people watching.
Do you remember roughly when you went live for the first time?
I do. I think it was like, it was I think it was May, maybe like early May
2020. Okay. And tell us about that first stream. When you pressed go live for the very first time, what were you doing? What was going through your head? And what kind of people came through?
Oh my God, that's a really good question. I had like a few people who had followed me from like social media. So I had about 3 or 4 viewers in the beginning, that like already kind of like knew who I was and was like familiar with me. And it was like, it was wild. Like I remember I saw this like clip where I got like a $5 donation, and it was like the first time that I got a donation, I think, and I was like, oh my God, and it was just so funny. And so like,
yeah.
And then the first time I got rated, I saw like a clip from the first time.
And what did you think about that time when you first got rated? It was just something that was shocking. Was it what was the feeling during the time?
It was like, oh my God, like this is so exciting. And it's just funny because like if you watch like my older clips, the way that I like speak is so much different than the way that I speak now on stream. because I'm, just like the comfortability is a lot more now. But it's just so interesting. Like I have a sound alert on my stream now that's from when the first time I got rated, and I was like, what is it? What did I say? What was it? It was like, oh my God, wow. Like, it was just
oh, it sounds like you are both surprised but not sure what's going on. Is like, the wow. Two things. Oh, what does that mean? Where the person is like they're pretending like they got, what was it? They have an avocado and they're trying to figure out
it's an avocado thing.
That's the same energy there, Reyna. Yeah. That's the same energy.
Like, wow. Oh my God.
Okay, let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
So, were you always doing music since the start?
Since the start of like Twitch?
Yeah, since you started going live.
Yeah, that was like always the thing that I started with. I think I've done one. I did one just chatting stream. Ooh. In like I've done one. Yeah. And that was like when I first started too. That was a long time ago. But yeah, it's always been music. I've always had this. My setup was a lot more janky back then, but I streamed on my old MacBook Pro.
Humbling days. Those are humbling times before all the upgrades.
What are they called? They're called the 580p days. Mm-hmm. I was streaming in 580. I was streaming like 538. No, I was streaming in 538. That's what I was streaming in.
Yeah.
I was streaming in 538p.
Well, let's take a look at the trajectory right now, all right? Because you've been here for over a year and some change. So I want to compare the past to the present, all right? How have you as a creator evolved from when you first started?
That's a really good question. I feel like a big thing for me, and I've talked about this before, is like when talking about like how like Twitch kind of changed me. I just feel like I've gotten so much more comfortable with myself and like my own personality, because I think that when we like grow up and we kind of conform to society and we kind of like dull our own kind of spark in a way. I mean, some people don't. Some people are just like always unafraid to be themselves, like unapologetically. But I was never like that. I was always a very like loud child and like very vibrant and just like, very, very loud and personable. And then I feel like probably when I got like in my teenage years, like I just kind of like chilled out a little bit. And then when I got on Twitch, I was like, okay, well, what the hell am I supposed to do for 4 hours? Like I can't just be this like boring person. And so I just kind of slowly started to like refine like myself and take parts of like my old self and still not be like annoying. I mean, maybe I am annoying. I don't know.
No, not at all. But what is it about Twitch that brought? I love that analogy. I love that mentality that you come onto this platform and it's almost like childlike wonder, where you start showing more of the colors of who you are. What is it about this place? What is it about your time that brought that about?
I feel like it's like you don't really have a choice. You have to be yourself. You can't like be somebody that you're not, because it's not like a 3-minute video or like a 12-minute video on YouTube where you can edit it and kind of pick out the most perfect parts of yourself. Like the thing about Twitch is that it's live, and I think the beauty of it is in the imperfection of it all, because that was also a big thing for me. Like I would get so embarrassed in the beginning when I first like made any mistake or like anything. I would be so upset. Like I think I would actually count the mistakes that I made in each stream. Yeah, I would be like, oh my God, today I made like 3 mistakes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
No, seriously. And now I make like 7 a stream and I'm just like, oh, whatever. It is what it is. So
you guys, sometimes I even want to throw in a mistake just to know I'm still human, that I still have a little bit of like embarrassment or any cringe left in me. I don't want to be a robot. But I love that. I love that evolution, and I especially like that analogy of that this place. And you're right. I never thought of it that way, but you're 100% right that you go live and over time you just become you, and it brings you back to that world where everything around you is much more colorful and bright. You're right. Yeah. Instead of the normal 9-to-5s that we're so accustomed to living. Well, Heavenly, here's the thing. All right, I myself am fairly new to the platform too. I'm a bit over a year, maybe 2 at this time for this account, and I can't be on Twitch everywhere at once. So this part of the show, I kind of find middle ground between me and my guests, and I do this by watching some of your clips. So I have.
Oh my God!
I'm here on your channel. It's public information. All right. I went there at like 2 a.m. I was like, oh, here's some clips. There it is. So I have 3 clips. And we're just going to talk about them, all right? We're just going to talk about them. We're going to see what's going on here. And it's simple stuff, all right? It's layups, I promise. You got it. This is a trust exercise between the guest and the interviewer. First one here, I think it's important to set the tone. I want, especially for those that have never seen your stream or have seen your talent, I want them to be able to see what Heavenly Reyna is all about. So this first one here, one of my favorite songs you covered, all right? And it is Hey There, Delilah. So we're just going to listen in. We're going to bask in the moment of you singing this cover, Hey There, Delilah. All right, that's the still, all right? That's Twitch is...
Great still there.
Twitch is unforgiving about this, but let's give a listen. Let's give a listen, 49 seconds long.
Hey there, Delilah, what's it like in New York City? I'm 1,000 miles away, but girl, tonight you look so pretty. Yes, you do. Times Square can't shine as bright as you. I swear it's true. Hey there, Delilah, don't you worry about the distance. I'm right there if you get lonely. Give this song another listen. Close your eyes. Listen to my voice, it's my disguise. I'm by your side. Oh, it's what you do to me. Oh, it's what you do to me.
You have me longing for a relationship I never had singing this. All right, Evan. Tell me right now, like, say I was to go to your stream, what is the structure of it? Is it all covers? Are you singing originals? How do we request? What is the flow of your music streams here?
So I do covers and I do originals. It's all like request based. And anybody can request a song, but like there's like priority for like gift subs or like bits or donos. But it's first come, first serve. It's pretty cool. I have a lot of songs. I have like almost 300. I started out with like 30. And now I have a lot more than that. And I have about, I don't know, how many originals do I have? I probably have like close to 20 or so, maybe more, maybe less.
Okay.
Not positive.
Of all the covers that you do have in that long list of songs, what is the hardest one for you to pull off? What's the hardest one that you just feel either drained or maybe it's tough on the vocal cords, or what is the most difficult cover that you have in your list?
Brave by Sarah Bareilles. That's a really hard one. That's a hard one.
Why so hard? Why is that the toughest one?
It's so high. It's just a very like demanding song vocally, and I feel like I always mess it up. I have like a couple other Sarah Bareilles songs. They're like easy for me to do, but that one's a little sneaky little bugger.
All right, Sarah Bareilles, Brave. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you request that for the next stream. All right, maybe 3 times. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. I like that. I like it. Well, that's just a taste of it all. I again love the tunes there. You just come on and you kill this time and time again. I've watched you, and now this clip here, I like to think is a testimony. Of course. All right. So that's the first one. The second one here is, like we said, Humble Beginnings. And this is one of your earliest clips.
Okay.
Earliest clips here.
It's
26 seconds long. Let's give it a listen. I'll have you explain what's going on here in this moment, all right?
Go on.
Just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Bentisto! I'm trying to sing, Bentisto. Oh my god. Okay, here we go.
God, this is so awkward.
Sam, thanks for the follow.
First and foremost, you might be the only music streamer I've seen that allows TTS and jump scare alerts while performing. That is already insane.
You can't turn it off. The problem is you can't like turn it off.
What do you mean you can't turn it off?
Well, you can, but it's just like hard to turn it
Okay,
off.
fair play. So, but this is one of your first streams, correct?
That was is there a date on
it
that?
It just says last year.
Sub goal, original song streaming okay. That I would say that's probably in like. Did you hear that?
What was that? Are you all right?
That's a motorcycle, I think.
Okay. You're fine.
I think this is probably in like January, maybe, or like, yeah.
So
there's something around that time.
So you had someone from your community, hit you with a jump.
He's still around.
And you know what? That's dedication.
Good old Ventista.
That's love right there. What's the most distracting part of being a music streamer here on Twitch? You know, again, I'm only familiar with my side, which is talk shows and podcasts, and a little bit of variety content. I can kind of see it. But when it comes to music streams, I'm so enamored because there's so much more complexity, in my opinion, and so much more that's being brought to the table. So tell me, what is the most distracting aspect of being a music streamer?
Like when I'm streaming?
Yeah.
I would say chat. Like I can't help it but like read chat, and then when something happens, it's just like
even mid-song?
Yeah, I'm better at it now, but
yeah. Have you ever broken mid-song to address something that's happening? If so,
many times.
Really? Like, give me an example.
My mind is suddenly empty.
Oh.
Had thoughts all of a sudden. This is yeah.
Is it like they're fighting? Is it like they're trying to make you laugh? What kind of what does your chat like to do when you're
actually, there was this one time, like way back in probably like May or June, that I remember vividly. When I was singing, I think I was singing. What was I singing? Oh, I was singing "Time After Time."
Ooh. Okay.
And I was singing "Time After Time," and I think somebody, it might have been Black Diamond. Somebody was like, "Sing it." Imagine if she just switches to a Southern accent, or no. Somebody redeemed. So I have this like one redeem where it's like sing a song entirely in a Southern accent.
Okay.
Because I have a pretty good Southern accent.
Yeah.
And so somebody redeemed it like right in the middle of the song. And so somebody was like, oh my God, it would be so funny if she started singing it right now.
Yeah.
And I started singing like the second before they put that. And so I was just singing like, and then I started going like, time after time. And it was just like...
I'm sorry. When did Hannah Montana show up with this southern accent here? I didn't remember her. I thought I was talking to Heavenly Reyna here. That's dope. I love that. On a whim, you were able to change that. On a whim, mid-song. Fair play. All right, third clip here. The title caught me, and I have no idea what's going on here. It was 4 months ago. I just need you to explain what's going on here. It's called heavenly.exe has stopped working. All right?
Yeah. Okay, this is a good one.
A minute long. I'm going to have you explain after we watch this what in the world is going on here. All right?
Okay.
Let's give it a listen.
It's still going on.
Clearly shocked. I have no idea. And you're just taking in the moment. You're just taking in this, and I can't tell if you're crying, you're happy, you're sad. You've got elbows on the keyboards. We're hearing some of the notes being played. And this is so...
Yeah.
This is a heavy moment, all right? And the award goes to Heavenly Reyna. What is going on here in this clip?
I had just gotten an $11,000 donation.
What?
Yeah, that's what it's right there.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So in
Yeah.
this moment, when all this is happening, how do you come back to earth? How do you come back to streaming? How do you come back to content creation?
Clearly, it took me a while.
Yeah.
It was so out of nowhere too. Like, it was just ridiculous. It was crazy because like I don't know how to react.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to react, you know?
And what did this moment mean to you?
God, it was just like, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even like, I think when stuff like that happens, I always feel like kind of like guilty after stream because I always feel like I don't like deserve it because it's just like crazy, you know? But it's like insane.
Well, I mean, it goes to a good cause, not only in terms of cost of living, but in terms of like pursuing your vocation and your content creation. So I always like to think communities, they're invested in the streamer and the content. So subs, donos, bits, all of that is their way of saying we are invested into what you are doing and we want more.
Yeah.
So this is clearly some big love saying, hey, we want more of this. We want to see you continue to chase this dream and we want to see you thrive. And that is awesome to celebrate. I love that so much. I love that this moment is captured and that they're able to, every now and then come back to this and see how affected you are, again, taking this all in and silent for a full minute, just shocked at what's happening. A moment of silence had to be lived. But Heavenly, that's all the clips, all right? Easy, right? Nothing embarrassing, nothing. What can moms possibly do? Everyone's so nervous at the beginning. I got to talk about myself. Someone's going to be thinking about me. But here's the thing, Heavenly. I don't know how much you've watched this show, but as much as I love Twitch, and I really do, I also love Twitter. And there are 3 posts on your Twitter account that I have here. I just want to talk about.
No, my God.
Okay, all right. So quick. What do you mean? No, again, this is even more public.
Okay, great.
Are you ready for the first one?
Yeah, I'm scared.
All right, let's live this one.
It's going to be the pickle.
Wow, straight. You've been watching my notes. You've been reading my notes. This first one here just says, I'm a pickle. I also want to highlight here. All right, we got some of these photos, which is just you're in full pickle regalia, which great fit. But also your community seems to love to include you in some great fan edits of you in the pickle, you in the Squid Game, what looks like. I don't know, an extra. I like how you're front and center. We have another one here, just a jar of heavenly pickles. I don't. There's a lot to unpack here. So tell me, what is the background story of you rocking a pickle fit?
I said if I hit 3,000 subs, I would do a pickle stream. Because, okay, the thing with the pickle costume all circles back to me going to CVS and seeing a pickle. Like one of those like pickles in like a bag, like a singular pickle.
Okay, pickle bag. I've never heard of that one before, but all right, fair play.
It's like a little chopped up pickle. Yeah. And I never thought that I would be the type of person to purchase that. But I was like, oh, I really want one right now. And so I bought it.
Wait, you bought, okay, first of all, is this sweet or salty?
It's like a dill. It's a dill pickle.
Okay, fair play. But they sell single pickles at CVS? Mm-hmm. And what was it about that pickle that you're just like, you know what? Today's the day.
I just wanted a pickle.
All right, fair play. So you got the pickle, and then where did this connect with this costume?
So I started talking about it on stream, and I was like, yo, I recently become obsessed with like these pickles. And then everybody started making fun of me. And I was like, oh, okay. Like every time you say pickle, you have to get to sub. Mm-hmm. And it was just like a big thing. And then a week later, I was like, okay, it was like still going on. And there's a pickle emote that was made for me, because of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I was like a joke. I was at like 2,300 subs. I think I was like, okay, if I hit 3,000 subs, I'll do a pickle stream.
Yeah. I honestly thought you were just like a huge Rick and Morty fan. Like I do like Rick and Morty. I do enjoy a good Rick and Morty. Okay. So it's all full circle then. It's both. It's
Right.
both wanting it from a media standpoint as well as a consumption standpoint.
Yeah.
Is this the fit? Is this the fit for Halloween this year?
No.
Oh, what do we got for
No.
Halloween?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
You got less than 2 weeks left, Reyna.
Don't talk to me about it.
Are you kidding me?
Don't talk to me. It's not my fault. I'll just tell you that right now.
What does that mean? Oh, okay, fair play, fair. You know
Not my
what?
fault.
External factors, all right? There's too many
There
external
are
factors.
external factors.
Yeah. Is it if you had to do a multi-person costume, what would you choose?
I would choose Fred and Daphne.
Oh,
From
like
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
That'd be
Nice.
kind of cute, I think,
I like that.
personally.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I like that one. That might be
I like that idea too.
one of my favorites. All right, that's the first tweet. Easy. Bam, bam. You knew it was the pickle, so you must know what the second tweet is, right? You should probably.
Is it the other pickle?
No, I don't go. I don't repeat my jokes here. All right. The second tweet here, you tweeted out August 5th at 10:26 p.m. And it is actually a video here. And
It's a Star Wars. Oh no. Oh.
a bunch of question marks. Why are you looking like that, Heavenly? It's my job. This is my job, all right? I'm doing my job here.
Okay.
A bunch of question marks, and you say literally a comedic genius, all right? Let's give it a listen. It's 30 seconds long. If I may ask, who are we watching here?
This is me.
Okay, so this is you.
This is me, and this all circles back to I was a very loud child.
Well-
part of my story.
Let's just see how loud of a child you were, all right?
Yeah.
So
okay.
here it is, 30 seconds. Let's press play.
Sire, I am afraid you have a duck in your pants. I'm afraid you have a duck in your pants. Oh, cut! Daddy? Hey, she didn't do it. Go. Sire, it sounded like you have a duck in your trousers.
Who is this young woman, and what are you saying here? You have a duck in your pants, a duck in your trousers?
I don't know the reason. I don't know. That was at Versailles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the reason behind it. I don't know what triggered that.
It is such you called yourself a comedic genius here, though. What's the genius? Show us some of the genius, the behind the scenes genius of this performance. What do you see it as?
Oh,
genius?
cut! That was funny. That was just that makes me laugh.
Oh man, on scene over here. You refuse. Only the highest quality, all right? That's what I'm hearing from you, Heavenly. All right, even no matter what age. I watched this video 3 times already, all right? Before I showed it here live. And it just showed me, I was like, all right, this person's made for content creation. This person's made to be in front of a camera to whatever degree that you would like that. But I love that at such a young age, you were able to, because I'm not thinking, how old do you think you were for this video?
I was like 8.
8 for me is like I'm kind of getting into video games. I'm still like playing with toys or whatever. You're over here knowing cues. You're over here giving accents with extra inflection. This is some wild 8-year-old kind of thinking here. But I love that. I love that you knew already. If we're going back to the lore of Heavenlyreyna, it feels like you always knew that you were born to be in front of a camera to whatever degree there. I love that. I like the filter too. All right, that's tweet number 2.
Yeah, right.
Tweet number 2, easy. Yeah, it's very old school.
Yeah.
So let's go to the third one. This third one right here, I like to gas up my guests and talk about some of the accolades and achievements of what's going on in their life. And here in September 16th, 2021 at 8:01 p.m., you tweeted this out. It says, on the red carpet at the Great Gatsby Gala for the Past Film Festival, nominated for Best Actress. What? Tell us what this moment is all about. What you were actress in, or what media you were in, as well as just being there in that moment at the gala.
So that was so I shot a short film back at the tail end of 2019. and it's a biopic short about true life, about these girls who were Nazi killers. During World War II, they would go undercover as prostitutes and like seduce Nazis and then kill them. And the girl that I played was 14 when she killed her first Nazi, and her sister was 16 at the time of when she was 14. And it's called Glass Darkly, and it's been like doing its rounds at the film festivals now. And so it was like really exciting. It got a lot of attention. And it was really, really, really nice to see, because we put a lot of work into that. We shot it in Michigan. We shot it here. Wow. We had like 4 table there was a lot of work put into it, for like a 20-minute film. And it was one of the most awesome projects I've gotten to be a part of. It was really cool. That's so and yeah, we got nominated at the Pasadena Film Festival for Best Director, Best Short, and Best Actress, and we ended up winning Best Director. But he wasn't there, so I took the trophy, and it's in my kitchen right now.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Tell me this, what got you to even accept that role initially?
So that was actually a self-submit. So my agent didn't even put me out for that. But it was just a self-submit. I really there's like some projects I feel like that kind of just like call to you, you know, they just kind of they speak to you. And I don't really come across like a lot of them as an actor, but that one did. And I really, really, really wanted to get it for some reason. And I'm so glad I did. It was such an amazing film to be a part of. And everybody who was involved was just amazing. You
said that there was a calling for this specific film. What did you hear? What was that calling that you felt so drawn to it?
It was like, this is a project that you want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be a part of this.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Heavenly, that's the hardest part of the show. All right, the clips, the tweets, that's all the most difficult parts. We're going into to all you now, all right? We're going to talk about some introspective questions about your time here on Twitch, and then we'll lean into your life story, all right? Wow. So this first question I have here is, what have you learned about yourself through streaming on Twitch?
I would say I've just learned how to be myself and to, like, not be so self-conscious. Honestly, that's, like, the biggest thing. Is I feel like when you are putting yourself on camera, you can be very critical of yourself on camera. And the thing about Twitch is, like, you don't have time to do that. Like, you don't have time to watch a 3-hour stream and criticize yourself. Like, you just have to, like, do it and let it be. That's the biggest thing.
I love
that I've learned, I think.
Especially for smaller streamers, how do you get over that hump? How do you get over that belief of, like, you know, constant self-analysis or being so self-conscious of what the public eye is? Because it is a very public, you know, hobby and or job. You are in front of X amount of people, constantly to some degree being judged. And so how do you get over that nervousness or that maybe even some would say insecurity?
I don't know. I don't know how I did it. I just know that I eventually did. And I think when it definitely helps when, like, your viewers grow and you are kind of, like, reassured more that you're not just, like, bad.
Yeah. You're reassured that people are resonating with what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that helps. I think that helps a lot.
I like that. When did you recognize that Twitch was going to be a bigger part of your life?
Probably that's a really good question, actually. I feel like probably in, like, February. I had a lot of generosity thrown my way in February. And it was, like, the first time. That was when I, like, the whole, like, partnership thing was, like, never really, like, on the table for me. Like, I never really saw that as something that was going to happen until... Because a couple of my mods are like, oh, you should, like, start pushing for partner now. You should start pushing for partner now. And I was like, I kind of want to wait until, like, I know I'm going to, like, because I didn't want to do the whole, like, partner push thing. I don't know. It just, like, didn't really, like, resonate with me. And because I just wanted to do it naturally. And then in February, I started getting, like, a lot of generosity. And it started becoming a lot easier to actually be like, oh, my God, wait, I could actually push for partner now. And then I think I started doing like a partner push, and like 3 weeks after I applied for partner.
Yeah.
And so that was a big moment.
Yeah, that's huge. Do you remember when you got it?
I do.
Yeah.
I did not see the email for 5 days.
Classic. You got to check the spam folder. That's what they get.
It wasn't even in my spam. I just get so many emails from Twitch with it because everybody goes live.
Oh, okay. You got to turn those off.
I did.
Yeah.
I have
goodness.
since.
Yeah.
I have since then.
Yeah.
My partner person literally had to come into my stream and she was like, "Hey, like, did you check your email?" And I was like, "I have been checking." And she was like, "Really? Check again." And I was like, "I can't find it." And she was like, "Oh my god, click this link." And it was like the link to like accept the partner like terms.
They came into your stream to tell you this?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's so sick. That's dope. Well, what did getting partner mean to you? If I may
Dude,
ask?
it meant so much. I started crying. Like that was the first time I've ever like really, really cried on stream for like something good, you know? It was wild. I wanted to get partners so bad because I felt like Twitch was like the first thing that I did where like I felt like I genuinely experienced success. And so it was just like I wanted to like genuinely like be successful on it, you know?
Yeah. No, I feel that. Heavenly, how would you describe your streaming style here on Twitch? How would you describe your streaming style?
Chaotic, probably, but also like calming.
How does that work? How do you get so both drastic opposites?
Because on one end of the spectrum, I'm a music streamer, and so a lot of people turn on my stream and they lurk and they just like listen to the music, right?
Yeah.
But then at some times there's definitely like a lot of chaos that I bring to it. And I think it's just like it's like chaotic good.
Yeah. In terms of chaos, is it your style of comedy? Is it how you interact with your community? What's the chaos part?
I would say it's definitely how like me interacting with my community. Like there was this, I don't know how it happened, but I was like, oh, if a diamond wore pants, like would he wear them like this or like this? And I like pulled up because I have a diamond emote for Black Diamond, and I pulled it up and I got like a pair of khaki pants and I put it on him, and then I just started dressing it, and now it like lives in the corner of my screen.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I like it. Way to take that bit on screen now and having that as being. Is it still there? Mm-hmm. Oh, great! I gotta check that out. out. Let's talk about your community. Speaking of them, all right. Heavenly, if I asked your community who you are and I had no idea prior, what do you think they would say to me? All right, you can give me both the troll and the honest answer. I think they would, usually communities like to do both, where for some reason they like to troll their streamer, they like to poke fun at them, but also they have some kind words of affirmation. What would you say? How would you answer that question?
I would say that they would say that I was good at what I do, because I don't think they would watch me if I wasn't good at what I do. But I think they would also probably call me a little bit dumb at times, and a little bit annoying.
Why? Why would they say those things?
Because that's who they are. That's what
way to take nothing of it. The way to say like, oh well, I do certain things. You go, actually, that's a their problem. All right, that's a you problem.
It's a their issue. I think it's a you problem.
I like it. Let's flip the script. All right, let's switch it up on them. How would you describe your community to me, Heavenly? If I showed up on your stream, I was like, "Yo, Heavenly, talk to me about these lovely usernames that are surrounding my own in the chat." What would you say of them?
I would say they're very funny and always down for whatever. Because one thing that you can like count on is kind of no matter what I'm doing on stream, whether it's dressing up a diamond or I'm singing, they're there and they're like having a good time. You know, not everybody, but like, you know, the core genuine like people in my community really, they're just there for like, they're down for whatever, you know?
That's sick. I love that a ton. Have you ever thought about expanding your role from music to also including just chatting or including some variety?
I have. So when I did a subathon for my birthday, and I did like drawy, and I did a painting, and I played like Zoo Tycoon. I've done a Zoo Tycoon stream, is what I have done.
What?
Yeah, but like the 2000 version.
Yeah.
Not the stuff that the kids are playing now.
I prefer the 2000, but yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
So much better.
Yeah. And so I did a Zoo Tycoon stream. I don't think I would be a very good Just Chatting streamer, if I'm being honest. And this has been told to me also by my community. That I don't think I cut it. I don't think I cut it as a Just Chatting streamer.
How did they break that news to you? What did they say that was just like, hey, we love you, Heavenly, but just as...
Yeah.
Really?
They're like, I think you just, I don't know if Just Chatting's for you. It's just like,
what?
It's just not, I don't know.
They didn't want it. They wanted you to sing, or they wanted Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah.
Nothing in between.
Nothing in between. Nothing at all. I have talked about doing like a monthly stream where I do like art, and I like do like a painting. So I think I will be doing that. I just haven't.
I like that a lot. Because I think a lot of streaming as well is, as much as it's displaying our talents and our skills and our abilities, it's also showing a little bit of who we are. And that is shown oftentimes outside of our main core things we do here. But I think, I wouldn't listen. In my opinion, I think you could do Just Chatting, all right? If you would like to, if you put your heart to it, if you really wanted to, you could do Just Chatting.
If you believe.
Right? Exactly.
You can achieve.
It's similar to that jump scare thing. Just do it, all right? It's the Shia LaBeouf. Just got to do that.
I used to think that it was Sheila Bell until I was 18.
Sheila Bell?
Shia LaBeouf.
Sheila Bow? That doesn't make it any better. Sheila?
Shia.
No, okay, Heavenly, I'm not going to have you correct me on what's already wrong, all right? Don't tell me that. Actually, moms, it's this. It's the wrong way to say it.
Shia.
I like it. One last question. I'm going to hit you with a kicker, all right? I'm going to hit you with a kicker of a question, and it's this. Okay. How has your community helped you in a way that they aren't aware of? You know, very often as streamers, we get to see how we affect our community. They're often saying words of affirmation or kindness in their DMs, this and that. But very rarely does the streamer or creator get to say directly to those that watch their content or engage in what they're doing, how much it means to them, especially when the cameras are off. So tell me this, Heavenly. How has your community helped you in a way they aren't aware of?
I think that they've helped me just like love myself more.
Wow.
Honestly, like it just... Like, they just help me, like, because they love me, right?
I'm not going to run a poll here for you. Heavenly, I'm not going to run a poll. I'm scared of what the answer will be.
but yeah, I think that they've helped me love myself more, honestly.
That's really awesome. You know, I don't know if you were ever raised this way, but I was always raised with the mentality like the internet's a scary place. The internet's this and that, and it can be. It can be. There are definitely parts of the internet that are a bit scarier than the others, even here on Twitch. But to know that you've created this community, this group of people and individuals, and draw them all together, not just to love on you but on each other, is huge. And it is, I think, putting a little bit of good out into this online world. So I appreciate that you do that, Heavenly, and I fully vouch. I agree with you. I think your community is full of lovely individuals there. But just like that, Heavenly, that's the first part of the show. It's easy, right? It's a cakewalk. It's easy. It's easy. Okay, all right.
So easy.
How are you? Oh my goodness, this is practice for you to transition into Just Chatting. All right, this is all just practice. Practice makes perfect. I do have 3.
Or Jimmy Kimmel.
Ooh, true. I don't know if he's going to ask you as a thought-provoking question. I think he's going all for plugs and stories there. That's kind of the late-night talk show vibe. I do have 3 bathroom water breaks here plugged into the show. Do you need to use the restroom or get anything to drink at all?
No, I'm good.
All right, you're good to go. Well, I do have to use the restroom.
You have to go, all right.
So the chat is yours, all right? I'll be back in about a minute's time, all right? And then we'll start off to the main show. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, what's up? How y'all doing? What's going on? It's new. What did I miss? Having fun? Am I? Yeah, I'm having a blast. Don't say anything. Killing it. Thanks, Goodworth. Aw, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, you guys. So poggers of you. Wait, I have to move this thing so better so I can see it. Hi, thanks. I love this. I love this hat too. Your hat is very nice. Thank you. Hey, Heavenly, you're doing amazing. You're such an interesting person. Thank you. You guys are so nice. It literally says the person with Froggy in their username. Why didn't you buy a full jar? Because they don't sell full jars of pickles at CVS Goodworth. That's why. They don't sell pickles at CVS. They just sell singular pickles. They don't sell jars. I think I had I don't know if I had a jar of pickles at home. I didn't. So sad. I know. It's okay though. It honestly was better than like a jar, like pickles that you get in a jar. If I'm being honest. For what it's worth, I think you could do just. Oh, thanks. Thanks. Is your film being screened anytime soon? Only at the no, not the Pasadena. The what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? What's the one that is screening at this weekend? Newport, correct? The Newport Film Festival. And I think after like it does like all the screenings, it'll probably be available like publicly online. I want to see art. Wait, Goodworth, were you there for when I did the painting part of my subathon? Were you there? I'm gonna do one. I will do one. Maybe next week? Maybe next week? We could draw like a spooky. We could do like a spooky little painting. Okay, everybody quiet.
Okay. Why, is there a secret that's being shared that I'm not aware of? Is everything good here? Jeez.
Everybody quiet.
Stay chill, guys. Stay chill. All right. We're here. We're back on the show. All right. Heavenly, we are going into the heart of the show. This is what I've been doing for 117 times. It's why I do what I do, and it is to talk about the creator's life story. Now, before we get started, I wanted to say to everyone that's watching live here on Twitch, the future on YouTube, listening on Spotify, as well as to yourself this. Any individual that's willing to share even a bit of their life story should be honored and respected. This is not an interrogation. This is not one of those gotcha interviews. This is simply here to hear your origins, your upbringing, both online and off. The thing is this, my job as a host is to ask you questions. However, if there's any questions that you don't feel comfortable answering or talking about, feel free to give a vague answer, a non-answer, or just tell us to move on, and we'll do that exact. All right? You've got complete control.
Confirmation.
Deal. I love
Confirmed.
it. Confirmed. Okay, that's too formal here. What is this?
Liked. I like your message.
All right. Ooh, like my status, and I'll tell you what I really think about you. I want one of those. I need those to come back. But we're going to be talking here first about your family and your upbringing. All right? So without doxing yourself, whether that be a city, state, general location, Heavenly, where were you born and raised?
So I was born in Northern California, and I grew up in Santa Cruz for the first 5 years of my life.
Nice. Okay. Always on the West Coast there. I like it.
Yeah.
How, any siblings?
No.
Oh, siblings. Okay.
It's just me.
Yeah.
It's me.
Tell us that. You know, for me, in my perspective, I have an older brother, so I've only lived life with a sibling. Mm-hmm. In terms of having you and your family, what is the vibe there? What's the only sibling vibe there? Only child vibe?
It's good. I mean, like, I always liked being an only child. I think every only child has, like, points in their life where they're like, oh, I wish I had a sibling. Like, I wish that I wasn't, I wish, because, like, a sibling's, like, a built-in friend. I think that's the general consensus, but, like, not always. But it's nice. It's nice because you do get, like, all the attention and, like, the special treatment. But then again, you also get all the attention all the time.
Oh, my goodness. And How do you manage that? I mean, it's one of those things because it's like you do get all the attention. You know, for oftentimes when I hear a guest, it's either they're the oldest or the youngest, and with the oldest, it's like I always tell the guests, oh, so it's kind of like, you know, your parents are pretty strict on you because you're kind of the first one there, and they always call themselves the test kid. You know, the oldest siblings always calls themselves a test kid. The youngest is always kind of like, oh, I got away with everything, you know, this and that. I'm everything. The parents have chilled out. So for your example, it sounds like you get both worlds. Am I correct in that assumption? Where it's like you kind of have all
No,
the
just the
attention?
first one.
Oh, so we're talking pretty strict and pretty like, hey, you're you're getting all the attention there.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was always like, you know, it wasn't like bad, but yeah, it's definitely like being an only child, and especially when you're like, so because I have older parents, and they tried to have me for about 10 years before I was born, and so when I finally arrived onto the planet, I was like the coveted, like, holy child. Like I could not be like broken.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean,
You know?
they're gonna go above and beyond to take care of you there.
Yeah.
That's so sick, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Tell me the upbringing. What kind of household was it? Was it a strict one? Was it pretty loose? Was it very organized? Tell me your upbringing with your parents.
It was a little bit of everything because I had a very untraditional upbringing because when I was 5, my parents decided to sell our house and everything we owned and start traveling around the world.
Oh, wow.
Everywhere. They sold our house, bought an RV in Europe, and we started traveling all over. And that was like everything that I knew up until I was for about 6 years was like the camper. That was like everything I knew. And so we were always like a very like tight-knit family. Like we spent like all our time together all the time. We did everything together. And then when I was like 10, we moved to Asia, and I started going to school, and we started like for the first time weren't living in a camper for most of the time. And so then it was like a little bit different because it was like, oh my God, like I'm going to school, like it's very interesting. But it's always been kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah. What was it like for you at such a young age to experience the world in that kind of light? I mean, you are, you know, more often than not, when you're younger, you want a place to call home, but you are adventuring around at such a young age. Tell us about that time in your life.
Yeah, I always loved it. I think there were definitely times where I remember like complaining that I wanted to just like be in one spot, but for like most of the time, I liked it. I mean, it was the only thing I'd ever really known because you don't really remember much from before you're like 5 or 6, and that was kind of when the traveling started. And so it's just like it was all I ever knew. Because I never really was completely stationary in one place up until we moved to LA.
Wow.
Because LA is the longest I've ever lived in one place continuously. So it's so weird because like my first half of my life was like traveling all over the place, and my second half of my life was like stationary. And so I feel like in a way I always disconnect from the person who was like traveling, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I did do that.
What do you mean by disconnect? Like, is it
just like I just forget that like that was me, you know?
Yeah. That's wild, though. That's so cool to have that experience. What are some of the cultural, influences that you picked up during your time, both in Europe and in Asia?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. I feel like everything that I picked up was probably unconscious.
Yeah.
That I couldn't tell you what they were.
No, fair play.
If I like thought about it. But I think one thing I definitely like learned to like take my shoes off everywhere. Like when I would go into like my house.
Thank you.
I make everyone take their shoes off, yeah. Unless I'm like scared and I like don't want to like I'm like afraid of confrontation and they just like walk in. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Not enough people take off their shoes in the house. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. I agree. In terms of communication, did you pick up any languages or was it all just...
Oh, yeah, totally. So I'm half Spanish, And so my dad only spoke Spanish to me until I was like 4, I think,
Mm-hmm.
in order to get me to like learn it, because my parents always wanted me to be bilingual or trilingual.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really big thing for them. And so I had already had a relative like grasp of Spanish when we moved to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we would do is for 5 months out of the year, like winter and spring, we would be stationary in a small little village in Spain. And I would go to school there. And so to kind of equip me with a little bit of stability and like a base so I could like go back there. And we did that for 4 years. And then the rest of the year we would travel around Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time we left Spain, I was completely fluent in Spanish. And I had also picked up a snazzy British accent because like all of my friends were British there because there were a lot of expats. And so that was really cool. And then we moved to Asia, and that's where I picked up Mandarin.
Okay.
So-
So you just have it all. All right.
Yeah.
You've covered the bases there. I think we did get a little bit of that taste of that accent through that Twitter video.
Right, exactly.
So I think we saw it a little there. But that's awesome, Heavenly. Wow, well-traveled, well-cultured there. That's huge. Let's talk about a little bit about your relationship with your parents. I'm going to ask once more. So in terms of your upbringing, was it a pretty strict household? Was it pretty loose? What kind of household was it in terms of how you were raised with your parents?
I would say that it was always very like, obviously, like I think my parents are more overprotective than most. I definitely can say that, and I think that all my friends can say that as well. But I don't think that really started until I was like more so of a teenager, and I was like more like doing things like on my own and stuff. But like when I was a kid, for the most part, like I've always been a very like I'm a Virgo, so like I don't know like how into astrology you are.
A little bit.
But so like I'm a Virgo. I'm like clean. I like keeping things neat. I like things organized. I like, doing that. And so I was always a very like organized child, and like, there was never really much of an issue with that. And I didn't really like, I wasn't like super like, I was always a very like good child. I think I cut my bangs one time when I was 7.
Oh my goodness.
I
just
freaked my mom out.
Scissors and all, just safety scissors. What caused
it was
you
just
to do
like
that?
I don't know, the voices.
I like it.
Probably.
How did your parents react?
Oh, my mom was so upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like that's literally like a staple for like any child. Like every kid cuts their own bangs at some point in their life.
100%. I think I cut my own hair too. I don't even know if it's bangs. I just was like, I want to see how it feels like. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then you're like, yikes. Now you have a weird spot. I have a bald spot now that's never grown back. Anywho, no, that's just good. That's called genetics. Let me ask this, all right? With your parents, I want you to give us all one lesson that both your mom and your dad individually, so one lesson from your mom, one lesson from your dad, that they've taught you to this very day that you keep hold in your heart, something that you still apply to your life.
That's a really good I feel like I've said this like 7 times. I'm like, that's a really good question. I think that the biggest thing that my mom has taught me is in working hard and in kind of being assertive. And like you can't just like sit around and wait for things to happen for you. You have to like make them happen for yourself. That's like I think that's hands down the biggest thing that I've learned. And I think from my dad, I've learned how to like create and work hard with like love and compassion. I think.
Wow.
It's like a big thing.
Those are two beautiful things. Those things work so in harmony with one another. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's do this here. Heavenly, I don't consider myself a content creator. I consider myself as someone who creates and captures moments. And we're going to do one here right now, tonight. All right? So, Father Time is undefeated, and it's always moving forward. There will be no other day like today and at this very moment. And what's beautiful about this show and the internet in general is that some things can be crystallized and preserved for as long as the internet exists, as long as YouTube exists, because this VOD will be later put on YouTube. So the question that I have for you that I would like to immortalize here on this show is this. What is something that your mom and your dad should always remember about you? No matter where you go in life, no matter where the winds take you or the opportunities take you, what is something that your parents should always remember about their child, Heavenly Reyna?
I feel like I'm a pretty good kid. I feel like they forget that sometimes.
Aww.
But yeah, I think things like I'm a good person.
Why do you think it's forgotten, if I may ask?
I don't think it is, but I think it's just like important to remember.
Yeah. And you got to remember, like I used to work at admissions, Heavenly, at a college. And a lot of parents would try to take me to the side and kind of have me scold their kid for no reason. Kind of just like, hey, you need to tell my kid that college is more than parties, it's school. And my rebuttal is always the fact that, like, hey, they've also been under your care for X amount of years, you know? Some can say their whole lives. And so at some point, you kind of have to trust that your teachings over those amount of years mean something. And you know your kid better than most. And so you got to give them the opportunity to grow and learn on that. But I love that. I love that little message, that little reminder there for your ma and your pa. That's beautiful. Heavenly, I'm going to ask you this one here too, all right? We got to talk about all these people in your lives, your family, this and that. I want to talk about you. Who were you growing up as a child and young adult, all right? Back in the teenage years, actually, to be specific. What were some of the things that were going through your head? What were some of the dreams and accolades you had at that time?
I think my biggest dream when I was like a kid, because I moved to LA when I was 15. And I moved to LA to pursue acting and music. But like the biggest thing, I think the biggest like turning point was like the acting. And I had always looked up to like Selena Gomez and like Demi Lovato and like all of kind of like the Disney Channel singing / acting stars. Yeah. And so for about probably until I was like 17, like my biggest dream was to be like on Disney Channel and be like Selena Gomez on like Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And I don't remember at what point. Oh my god, I keep hitting my piano, by the way.
Don't worry about it.
I don't remember at what point I kind of like let that dream go. Huh. I think it was when I realized that Disney Channel was casting younger and younger.
Fair.
Because like they used to cast older. Like they used to cast like teenagers as like 19-year-olds, you know? But now they cast teenagers as like 13-year-olds. And I was like, okay, so I just never had a shot. So
you let that one go. You let that one go.
I let it go. I don't even think it was like a thing that I was aware of. I think it just like happened.
Fair. I mean, unless you're that one guy from Hannah Montana, the brother of Hannah Montana, he was like 30 during that show when he was playing whatever. So
Exactly.
I don't understand the casting. I'm waiting for the Heavenly Reyna little like ad where they're like, hey, this is Heavenly Reyna and you're watching the Disney Channel. You're made for that. You already knew exactly the hand motions. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Did you ever do any of those tryouts or was it always just the dream of getting to audition?
No, I actually did. I auditioned for probably about 6 or 7 Disney projects in my like time here. The first thing I ever auditioned for here was Bizaardvark on Disney Channel, which made Olivia Rodrigo into who she is today.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, and I also auditioned for High School Musical, the musical. The series. I messed that audition up. That was bad. I was so nervous. And then I also auditioned for High School Musical 4, which never happened.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of projects over the years that I auditioned for, and some didn't even end up happening, like High School Musical 4. There was this other one with like vampires, and that didn't happen. Yeah. But like,
fair play. Well, yeah. Where did you get this acting bug? Where did you get this itch to want to be in the media, especially at the time a Disney Channel star?
So my mom was an actress, and it was never something that I was like, that I ever thought about doing. I also auditioned for Stargirl. I know it's not supposed to read the chat, but I also auditioned for that.
Stargirl? What?
Yeah. I also auditioned for that. My mom was an actress, and it was never something that I was like gonna do that I ever thought of. But I actually ended up getting into acting through singing because so I lived in Dallas right before I moved to LA. I lived in Dallas for a couple years, and that's where I got like the beginnings of like my singing and like songwriting and performance training and everything. And there was a showcase there that I was performing at, and I had this one song called Ashes where I played the violin in the beginning. And so it was like a part of my performance, and so I did it. And there was this casting director who was there, and she was like, oh my god, like I'm casting this short film about this violin prodigy who dies of cancer. She's like, I think you'd be perfect for it. And I was like, okay. And so she had me audition, and I ended up booking it, and that was the first acting job I ever did. And it was a bit of an intense kind of like nosedive into the acting world, because it was a very like intense role. And there was not very much food on set. They did not feed us well. I didn't know that craft services were a thing until after that.
Craft services?
Did not. Yeah.
What are craft services?
It's like all the food that they like keep out at all times that you can just go and like get.
So it's different than catering.
No, it's like catering. Like catering's like lunch, like meals,
okay.
and like craft services is like
snacks
between.
Oh, good to know. I'll write that down.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind next time I ever visit a set.
Yeah, where is craft services?
Yeah. Let's get this out. Let's get the show on the road.
Lead me to the table. Yeah.
What was the move in craft services? What was your favorite snack?
That's a good question. Again,
this
you're
one
so
really
good.
got
You're so good at these questions.
I try my best.
I think that I always like chips. Like chips are nice.
Yeah.
Chips are always a good move. Coffee is great. Never if they have candy, like little candy bars are nice.
Just whatever to munch on. Okay.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah, same here too, honestly. Let's go on here to the next part. All right. We talked a bit about your family and upbringing. Let's talk about the least sexiest of it all, which is education. We're going to talk about your time in school, specifically high school and beyond there, all right? So in high school, we're familiar with all this.
I never went to high school.
Okay, wow, you're going to hit me with such a curveball already, all right? Tell me about that, all right? What do you mean you never went to high school?
So I graduated when I was 14.
Okay.
So I never went to a traditional high school or was like homeschooled throughout high school. I was a part of this program at Johns Hopkins University for like gifted youth it was called Center for Talented Youth. And you had to like test into it. And were you in CTY?
No, but I've heard about that, and that's insane. You were in that. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on. Explain it to those that are not familiar with the program.
So basically, it's this program that Johns Hopkins University offers for exceptionally gifted kids throughout, from like elementary school throughout high school. And you test into it, and you can test out of it if you like get stupid, like at any point. And you have to like keep continually testing to like prove that you're still like exceeding like the things for your age or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I started to get in it when I was, I think, 6, and I had always taken classes for it like online throughout our travels. And then when I was 13, you had to take the SAT in order to like prove like whatever you had to prove. Mm-hmm. And so I had like a month to study for the SAT.
Oh my God.
And so I like studied my ass off for a month, read all the books about how to like get a good score, took the SAT, and I ended up getting a honors award from CTY, from Johns Hopkins, for my score in it. And that was really cool. That's really cool. And that was nice. We drove to Virginia for the award ceremony for that. And then they were like, oh, you could like graduate right now if you wanted to. And I was like, okay. Because like for acting, you can test out. It's called, what most people do is they take the CHESP, which is a test to like graduate high school. So you can work as a legal adult, basically.
Okay.
And so I ended up graduating so I could work as an adult, because it's always an advantage because you don't have to like go to school when you're on set, and you can work like 8-hour days. And so I graduated, and then I started taking classes at Santa Monica College when I moved here. And I did that for about a semester and a half until I was just taking like my general ed courses as like a backup.
But at what age were you already taking these college courses at Santa Monica?
I was 15.
15. Oh my gosh.
I mean, like, I was struggling a little bit, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like all smooth sailing. But yeah, I mean, it was just like a thing that I was doing on the side. Excuse me. And then when I was 16, I was like, this is a little bit like too much. Like, this is a little bit too overwhelming, because I switched from like, I think 2 classes to like 3.
Okay.
And I ended up dropping them for like the time being. And I just never went back.
Yeah. So let's that's a lot to break down here. All right. First and foremost, did you feel like it was your decision, your family's decision, or a culmination of both to really expedite this process of education prior to you being in college?
I definitely think it was like a mutual thing, because I mean, the idea of just graduating high school and not having to go to high school ever was pretty appealing. Really? Yeah, I mean, like, I was always homeschooled when I wasn't going to school in the countries that we lived in. I went to school in Spain, and I went to school in Malaysia, and a little bit in China. But other than that, I was homeschooled, and so I would have just kept being homeschooled. But I still got to like experience like high school things, being here with like friends and stuff. I was just never like actually went to a high school.
Is there anything? I mean, you even applied for High School Musical 4, all right? So you're familiar with a bit of that all. Is there anything from the traditional American, especially, high school experience that you wish that you could have experienced at the time, or is that none at all?
I always wanted to go to prom. Like, that was like a big thing for me. And I never got to go because, for like multiple reasons, when I had like a best friend throughout all of high school, and we had like this, and she was a grade above me, even though we were like, well, she was like 9 months older than me, and so she was a grade above me, and so we always had this like we had this like thing where like she was gonna take me to her prom, like when she prommed. She didn't, so I was nice. And then the pandemic happened, and so I didn't get to go.
Oh, maybe.
But like,
what's up?
Oh, nothing. I was like, but like, whatever.
I mean, the world was ending at the time.
Big deal.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure out another prom that we can have you attend there. All right.
Twitch prom.
Is that, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad, you would think that would happen at TwitchCon. You would think that would be a thing, but who knows? I got to ask you the layup questions. All right. What was your go-to subject? What was the subject that you thrived in most?
Math.
Really? You like math? Why was it? What was it about it that just clicked with you?
I was just always naturally really good at it. Like, my dad is really good at math naturally, and so I was always really good at it as well. I struggled more as the older I got and like the more complicated it got, but for most of my life, math was like piece of cake for me.
That was your go-to. I think the second that there's more letters than numbers is where I'm starting to get worried about what's going on.
Yeah.
There. How about in terms of co-curriculars, all right? Outside the classroom, outside of academics, what were some of the things that you were juggling during that time prior to your time in college? So the different schools that I went to, I dabbled in choir, drama, jazz ensemble, which I quickly realized was not for me. Wait, why?
I was not good at improvisational jazz. I did not have enough music theory under my belt for that, I don't think. They were like, play chord, and I was like, what chord do you want me to play? They're like, just like go with it. I was like, I don't oh, what do you want me to do? So that was like, I think that was for me. I did volleyball. I was always very athletically, like naturally athletic as a child. I was really good at like hitting a bat.
Okay, perfect. Were you doing softball then too?
No, baseball.
Oh, baseball. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. So baseball, volleyball, you're doing some musically time. You've got a whole schedule, a whole regimen behind you there at such a young age. So let's talk about that time in your life. It's story time once again, Heavenly, all right? So I'm going to ask you this. I want you to give us a story during that time in your life. And it could be a good one, something that you remember during that time in your life that you look back fondly, and it's something that you cherish. Or maybe a tough one, something that was difficult that you encountered during that moment in your life during the adolescent stages, usually the high school years, and it's something that you learned from. Can you give us one of the stories, good or bad?
Yeah. The one thing that comes to mind is, so I did volleyball as an extracurricular when I was 13. And I had never played volleyball before, but like I liked the idea of it. I did not realize the like pain that I would feel like when you like hit the ball. And so I was really into knitting at that point in my life. I was like really, really, really into knitting. And I decided to knit these like little wrist like protectors.
Yeah.
And they didn't really help.
And that's the story. Yeah, so you set us up for a whole thing. So then you just lived with it? You just lived with the pain?
Yeah. And then I quit volleyball the next semester.
What did we learn from this? Wait, I don't even know which story you're telling now. Is this a good or a bad one? Is this something you learned? Or is this...
I think I learned that not all sports are for me, is what I learned.
Fair. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You still knit, Heavenly?
I don't. I don't knit anymore. I don't knit.
I've learned that too. It's actually kind of fun. Knitting is
really fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a weird. That's like a fun fact about me. I love it. It's absolutely. I'm enamored by it.
Like you can do anything while you do it. Yeah. You know, like you're watching a movie. Like you can knit while you do it.
It's therapeutic too. Just the repetition. Just I don't know. Get into that. But I love that story. How you only spent 1 year in volleyball?
About a month.
Okay. Wow.
About a month.
It was you were. It was the protectors. All right. Those.
Yeah. If I wasn't cut out for it, honestly.
If you did create something that would protect your hands and your wrists, would you have stuck around a little longer?
I mean, maybe. I might have. I was like a part of like the summer camp for like a bunch of years, like in high school.
Yeah.
And a big thing was always we would play volleyball at least once. So I'd be like 3 times a summer, like I'd be playing volleyball, and I would always be so bad at it. Like they would want me in the back because I was just so bad at it.
I mean, fair play. It's such a fun game though. It's a fun game, but it is definitely it wears you out. It's a lot more than meets the eye. And again, those wrist protectors, all right? That's a Shark Tank idea. I love that. A ton.
True.
All right. Let's talk about this, all right? You said at 15 you ended up going college right there. And tell us about that time in your life. You're at a young age, you've advanced in all these programs. You know, you're showing up to these collegiate level classes as possibly, if not one of the youngest in the room. Correct?
Yeah, definitely. There was nobody there.
Tell us what was going through your head when you first showed up to school for the very first day at the age of 15.
Well, the first semester that I did anything, actually, for the first 2 semesters, I only took one class. So I took history for my first semester, and that was online. And then I took music history for my second semester. That was also online. So I didn't actually show up to campus until I was 16. And I was taking math. That's what I was taking in person. Then I was taking English online. And I did not pick the right teacher.
That's huge.
Oh my God. I was so overwhelmed. He assigned so much homework every single like class. And I couldn't like remember anything that he would say during class. I had to like film. I had to sit in front and I had to film him on my phone because I couldn't remember anything. And it was just you go so fast, you know?
That's so true. Did he know that you were filming? He was cool with it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna make sure. Just filming from underneath the desk there. That's dope though. And so, I think you mentioned it before though. Did you ended up completing all the courses? You have your degree there, or did you end up walking away there?
I did. I thought I was going to go back. I was like, I'm just going to take a little hiatus because it's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And then I just never did. I never went back.
So if I may, man.
So I have no backup plan.
I was going to ask you, what brought you to that point of not returning?
I don't know. I think it was just like, this is working for me right now, and I might as well give it all or nothing, you know?
Yeah. I feel that. There's a quote out there. There's someone that says, whether it be a content creator or not, that said, if you have a backup plan when pursuing content, then it's not going to work because you already always have that feel of a fallback.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds crazy. People, between you and I, people that are in this right now, we get it. We understand. Yeah, we need to bust our butts and do what we got to do to create content, to engage, create a community. But from those that are in the 9-to-5 world that are looking in, probably think we're insane. That they're like, wait, what? There's nothing of that manner. But I feel you on that. And that brings us here today. That's what you've been up to in terms of taking that break and working on your career from a macro point of view. I love that. All right. Well, let's move on here to the third part of the show, all right? The third phase of the show. Again, do you need any water, any bathroom break at all, Heavenly?
I am built different.
You came prepared. Yeah, it's the background in going around Europe in a camper that you literally set up camp and you're ready to go.
Just ready.
All right, fair play. We're going to talk about your work history here, Heavenly, all right? We're going to talk about your work history in this segment. This segment of the show, I do this similar to a resume, okay? So I was going to say, if you were to go out into the world and be applying for jobs right now, what 3 positions, if that applies, 3 jobs, would you say are most influential and pretty much describe who you are as a professional? And we'll go from there in not numeric. What's the order that I'm looking for? From the earliest to the present day, if you may.
So, not jobs that I would be applying for.
No, jobs you've had.
Jobs that I've had.
Correct.
Okay. I haven't really ever had any jobs in my life. My jobs have been my music, my acting, and Twitch.
Okay.
Because like the biggest thing with acting is the whole job is auditioning. Like you're auditioning 3 to 4 times a week, and you're not getting paid at all. You're spending your own money.
Yeah.
Most of the time. And that's like that was a really, really, really big part of my life for like the past 7 years. But what I did do when I was about 12, I started teaching languages online.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had a few clients. Actually, I was teaching like a bunch of people. I was teaching them Spanish, and I was also teaching them Chinese, but I was teaching them like most of the people that I would be teaching would be like younger people. It wouldn't be like adults because I was 12, and a lot of it was also just me speaking in Spanish with people, like helping them keep up their Spanish.
Yeah.
Because I was like, completely fluent. And so it was, easy for me to do, and I got paid like, a little bit of money doing it. And so that was nice.
What did you learn about yourself through working with other people, especially of diverse backgrounds?
I couldn't even tell you. I don't even remember. I do not even remember. It was so long ago. It was like almost 10 years ago, which is wild.
Yeah. Let me ask this. You broke this down. You are making me work tonight. I'm going to tell you that right now, Heavenly. There's so
sorry.
much. No. You like, I love this because it's like freestyle now. You're making it's jazz ensemble right now. All right. You're making me having to throw out the entire spreadsheet of how this is done and going from it. You said 3 specific jobs. All right. And let's talk about those 3: music, acting, and then Twitch, all right? In that order, let's start off with music. Tell me what you do with your day-to-day in terms of forwarding your music career. What does it look like on the day of the life of a musician?
A lot of it is just like practice. It's writing, like songwriting, and just keeping it up, keeping it fresh, and never letting yourself kind of slip up with that. And like a lot of times it's hard. Like there are days where I don't, do music things because I'm feeling overwhelmed or, not very good. But for the most part, it's kind of just like a thing I always go back to,
Yeah. What genre would you define your music as?
I would definitely define my genre as pop.
Mm-hmm.
It's fluctuated between the years, from like alt pop to like indie to straight up pop.
That's awesome. And what inspires you as a musician?
Just like the world around me. Like inspiration can just really strike me whenever. Mm-hmm. And so it's just always interesting to see what kind of things ignite that little flame in my mind,
Yeah. Give us one of your songs, any song. You may choose any of your discography and tell us the background of what inspired that specific single. Maybe something that's so intimate to you that really got you in your feels and maybe even in your past or possibly looking towards the future as inspiration of your music. Give us one track.
I have this one song called, the first song that comes to mind is, I have this one song called Lips.
Okay.
And I wrote that because I was not in a relationship with this person. I was kind of like in a situationship with this person. And I could always feel like it was kind of like more one-sided. And like all they had to do was just like tell me that they like weren't feeling it. And I would be like, okay, like that's like, I'm like good,
Yeah.
But it was like the thing like they never did. And it was just kind of like always like it dragged on for so long. And it was so dramatic.
Yeah.
But it like this song like grew out of it where it's like, let me hear it from your lips. Like I need to hear you like tell me,
Holy cow. And how long did that take to write out and produce and kind of flush out everything?
It took a day to do it.
Really?
Took a day. Yeah. Took a day to write it. Just me, the producer, the piano. And then it took like a little longer to produce it because because when we wrote it, it was just piano and vocal. And so it was so simple. And then, so there was a lot of like going back and forth when we were actually doing the produced version of it because we wanted it. We had like a little bit of what's called demoitis where you get like really attached to the demo. And so you like don't want it to be any different than how it was originally. But we got there. We got there eventually.
I love that. In terms of other artists, all right, when you look at other artists, who are those that inspire you? Who are those that you say like, oh, this is kind of the flavor that I look at? Not necessarily exactly, but a little bit of where you would like to be or where your art is at.
Right. I think so. Billie Eilish was kind of like my musical awakening. Way back in like end of 2017. I kind of found her music summer of 2017. It was her first EP. And I started listening to it, and literally every single song on there like slaps. Like there was not one skip in that whole EP. And I was just like, oh my God, this is the kind of music that like I want to do. Like if I could make music like this, that would be so cool. And so she was really my awakening and kind of the sound that I wanted to create. And also Halsey was a really big inspiration. Like Halsey in her early years, Billie Eilish in her early years. And that was a really big shift for me. That kind of helped me kind of carve out my own path.
I love that. I love that a ton. That's sick. And so today, are there any other projects that you're working on right now behind the scenes that you'd like to talk about in terms of your music side of your career?
So I'm actually working on a holiday EP right now, hoping to release in the next couple of weeks. I haven't really talked about it much. It's kind of a surprise.
All right, a little bit.
It's kind of a surprise.
In the next couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. And they can find all the information on your Twitter account, on your
They will.
Twitch. Okay.
They will.
I like
I
it.
will.
I'm excited. I'm excited. You don't see enough of that. I don't see enough holiday releases or enough holiday music, all right? So it's going to be nice to...
Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. I'm already in the holiday feels, to be honest with you. It's nice. It's nice. Let's go to the second part of that. Let's talk a little bit about acting here, all right? I know we got a little bit of the background in terms of your ma and the inspiration there. But tell me, where would you like to take this in terms of your acting career? Give me the day in the life of the acting side of you, Heavenly.
So the day in the life of the acting side of me, it depends. Do you want the audition side or the on-set side?
I want both.
Okay. So the audition side is more tedious and it's more just like sad.
Oh, why? I have no idea. So I'm coming in. Okay.
It just auditioning has honestly like also shifted so much because of the pandemic. Like before the pandemic, most things were in person. Like most auditions were in person with casting directors. And so you kind of got to make that human to human connection. And it always helps when you're auditioning for a project because a lot of it is like who you are as a person as opposed to just like the actor side of you. Mm-hmm. And since the pandemic, I haven't gone on one in-person audition since beginning of 2020. Mm-hmm. And so that's been a really huge shift. And we'd always done self-tapes before the pandemic, but it just shifted so much since the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which has been just kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. What would you say if there was some copy out there that was like, hey, we need an actress to do this, this, and this. This is the type we're looking for. What would be your ideal kind of situation now? What would be your ideal part that you would say, this fits me perfectly, or this is the one, this is something that inspires me. I already have ideas for this kind of character. What type of individual would that be?
My ideal part, I have like two different like types of ideal parts because so I love whenever I can interject my music into my acting and like kind of like meld the two worlds together. And I've gotten to do that actually a lot, which I'm really, really grateful for. And so any kind of role where I can play someone who does music is so much fun for me. And then, but also so Veronica Mars, I don't know. Have you ever watched Veronica Mars?
Oh, wow. That is, you've hit me in the feels. I've never watched, but I know exactly who Veronica Mars is, of course.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
cow.
like my ideal character that's not in a music world.
How would you describe that to those that aren't aware, so we don't have to have them Googling Veronica
So
Mars?
Veronica Mars is a very witty, smart, funny, and cute girl. She's like the girl next door that you don't want to mess with, kind of person. And I've always loved Kristen Bell, and I love Veronica Mars. One of my favorite characters in the world, if not my favorite character.
That's so dope. And so I guess that already tells me that who inspires you in this industry. Well, I'll ask again. Aside from Veronica Mars, if that's the only one though, who inspires you in this industry? In what you do here as an actress?
I love Julia Roberts. I absolutely adore Julia Roberts. Also Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, like Legally Blonde is just classic. An amazing film. Alicia Silverstone is also really big for me. And I love, what's his name? I can never remember his name. But I love Across the Universe. Have you ever seen Across the Universe?
Ooh,
or 21? No.
Wait, 21, the blackjack one?
Yeah.
Which character?
The main guy.
Oh, I forgot his name. No, I know who you're talking about.
Why is his name so forgettable?
I don't understand. Literally the dude that's playing the game. Yeah,
right,
it's bothering me. But yeah, what is it about him that inspires you?
I don't know. I saw Across the Universe a while ago, and it was a movie that I thought that I was going to hate, and I ended up loving it so much. And ever since then, I've just loved him as an actor and like any project that he's been a part of.
I like that. Let's go to your third part here, View. All right, we've gotten to the music, we've gotten to the acting. Let's talk about the Twitch. Okay, from the Twitch side, what's the day in the life as Heavenly Reyna, the Twitch streamer?
It really depends, honestly. I feel like also the three worlds kind of mix together at the same time too. You know what I mean? Like today, you know, I had an acting thing in the morning and then I recorded some music and then I came here to stream. And so it's just like streaming is just like a part of what I do, you know? I mean, it's just like it's just a part one of the biggest parts of my life now, you know?
Yeah. Do you in terms of your stream here, or your time here on Twitch, where would you like to see it in the next year? And then we'll talk 5. Let's start off with the first year.
I would love to hit like 100K on here. I don't know if in the next year. I mean, I feel like in the next year is more realistic than in the next 5, because usually if things happen, they happen kind of like when momentum hits, you know?
100%.
But I hope that I can use Twitch as like a part of my life forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no matter what I'm doing, I always want to come back and stream here.
Yeah, I agree. There's something about it. Did you have that feeling, Heavenly, especially when you first started off? It's like, okay, like it's fun, but like, you know, okay, that's great. It's and then eventually you just get very tied to it. You get this sensation, like whether it be your community or just knowing that you're building something in general. You just there are strings attached. Where you're just like, oh, I can't imagine leaving this place now.
Oh yeah, I feel like everybody on Twitch is so like interconnected. You know what I mean? Like there's just relationships that you forge that can't be broken, you know?
Yeah. I think every streamer, regardless of size, always has commonalities. There's always the baseline of conversation that anyone can have, whether it be like, hey, remember, like, how do you deal with when your community is kind of not talking in chat? How do you do that? Or, you know, going live, some people have just anxieties about that. And I didn't recognize that. And just hearing you out with that, or having to plan out streams or perform streams and how draining it is. But in the moment, it doesn't feel like it's draining. But once you end stream, you just feel this weird weight of just like, oh, that post stream depression a little bit. And we're like, oh, now I'm just alone, and now it's just here I am. So there's always something that bonds content creators together. I don't know what it is. It's always there. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Let me ask, in terms of diversification, what other platforms outside of Twitch, in terms of content creation, are you investing your time towards, if any?
I launched my Patreon like 2 months ago, I think. And I've been working on that a lot since then. And I want to expand to YouTube because I used to be a lot more active on YouTube when I was younger. And then I kind of gave it up a little bit and I let it go. And I keep saying, I'm going to do YouTube. I'm going to like start doing YouTube again. And I haven't yet. But it is in my like intention to do. So.
And what would the content be on YouTube exactly? What would that look like?
I think a lot of covers, a lot of stream moments, because like I think you can't keep VODs. I can't keep VODs on stream anymore. So it's just like, where did those moments go?
Exactly. You want to have those. Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to get that up there. Right now, what would be your dream collaboration? Any creator out there, what would be your dream collaboration, and what would you both be doing?
A creator as in like anybody?
Content creator, yeah. On this platform.
So like on this platform, I would say I would love to collaborate with Autopilot.
Oh, okay.
I think he's really cool.
And what would you guys be doing?
Some type of music together.
All right. I like it. I see, this is a whole other world of Twitch that I'm not too familiar with. And so here in this one, why specifically, I'm going to butcher the name, Autopilot, correct?
Yeah. He was like I think he was like a pioneer on Twitch music, and he's really built like this like community and this like thing on here that's really cool.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, hopefully in the near future that can come into fruition there. But I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I appreciate you sharing all that of your work history here. Let's move on to the final segment of Life Stories. And again, If you have any questions, comments, words of affirmation, whatever it may be, !Q into the chat. We'll get into that right after this next segment here. All right. It's usually the part where most people end up, turning up the volume, leaning into their TVs or whatever, because everyone's so nosy about romantic relationships. Now, you and I already had this conversation prior to the stream, so I want to expedite this straight into the present, all right? Not too much of a story into the past, but where we're at now. Now, in that question, I want to ask you this. I think romance is always it's a tricky topic, and everyone here is always, our heart's out there. We're always looking for something. I want to know, Heavenly, okay? What is the key to Heavenly Reyna's heart? What is the type of individual that can win you over, whether that be, from this platform or beyond?
Usually if they have a check mark, that works.
Okay, buddy. Really? That's what you wanted to go with? That's how the check mark? Okay, relax, ma'am. Why the check mark? Huh? What's that mean? Huh?
I mean, it helps.
Oh, helps for what? What is this? My goodness. Yeah, put the head down. What is the check mark? No, honestly, let's even go beyond. Let's even go beyond the. What was that? Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm a businesswoman.
Business. Oh wow! It's pure. Your relationship now, your love life is strictly business. It's all business, no feelings whatsoever. Trips. Tell me this, from a physical aspect, what is the type? Do you have an aesthetic?
I have personally never had a specific type.
Yeah.
People have always asked me what's your type? And I've never, physically, I've never had a specific type. I've gone for a lot of different looking people. I think it all comes down to just am I attracted to the person? Do they have a good personality? Do I like them? As I feel physical attraction is a really big deal for me. But there's nothing physically that I tend to gravitate towards, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So physical appearances, like you said, clearly you have to be attracted to some degree, but that isn't the end all be all. Fair play. Let's talk about then internally. What are some of the things in terms of personality that draw you?
Funny.
First and foremost, funny. And most. What type of
first and foremost?
Yeah, first and foremost.
I think it's just the humor. I have a very specific sense of humor. And so I feel when somebody understands my sense of humor, and I've always been a very sarcastic person. And I feel somebody who gets that and gives it back is a really big thing for me. And just someone who can make me laugh,
You say you have a specific sense of humor. How specific are we talking about? What are some of the things in that wheelhouse?
Oh my God, I don't even know. I just say really stupid things sometimes. Honestly, I just I don't even know how to explain it. I feel there's definitely people here who would be able to explain it.
Oh my goodness. But anyone in the chat here live, tell me, put it in quotes. Tell me something that has been out of pocket that Heavenly Reyna has said. It's very mathematical. All right.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the one saying it.
I don't even know what that means.
So we got humor on the docket. All right. What else other than humor?
People who have something going for them. I think people who are passionate. I think a really big thing for me is people who are passionate about what they do. That really draws me to them. Especially if they have a really, really, really strong drive towards achieving something. That's a really big thing.
Why is that so attractive to you?
Because it means that when you're building something with someone, it's not you aren't the only one who wants to actually do something,
Yeah. No, 100%. I feel that. Okay. So we have comedy, we have drive and passion. Let's round it out. Can you give me one more with 3?
People who are musically inclined are pretty cool.
Yeah. Some music
who play who play some sort of instrument,
Whether that be guitar, piano, drums, anything. Yeah.
It's just like, I mean,
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
like any instrument.
Any instrument, yeah. The flute. Let me ask. All right. What would be? It's story time once again, Reyna. I want you to tell me what's the ideal date. What's the ideal first date for you?
I would say for me, the ideal first date would be getting acai bowls, and then building Legos, like on the beach or like on the grass by the beach.
Wait, you don't even want to be in the sand. You want to be in the grass?
Like anywhere near the beach, like
Okay.
just like somewhere where like you can smell the beach air and like just like, you know.
And why the Legos publicly? Like why the Legos?
I don't know. I enjoy building Legos.
I like that. Okay, so acai bowls on the beach, whether that be grassy, sandy area, with Legos. That is the ideal. That's it.
Yeah.
What are you guys even building?
It could be anything, you know? It could be like little people, it could be like a truck, it could be a like a replica of some sort of city. I don't know. It could be really anything.
Okay. All right. Fair play. I can feel it. I can feel you're in the hot seat right now. All right. I can feel the tensions here. All right. Let me give you one last question. All right.
Sure.
And I'll let you off the hook off of this one. All right. I promise. And the question is this. Like you know already, I'm here to create and capture moments. That's my job. That's what I do. And so I'd like to create and capture one right now. For those, and this is on the record, for the future, for any individual that is going to, in the future, date you or marry you, whatever it may be, what is something that they should be aware of you? What is something that your future significant other should be aware of who they are dating in Heavenly Reyna?
I say stupid things sometimes and I'm really sorry. That's all. But I probably like you a lot more than you think I do.
That's too kind. I love
Yeah.
it. It's very mathematical. Yeah. It's very mathematical.
It all adds up, you know?
It all corny, all right? This is the corniest point of my damn show. I've done this 117 times, and you guys have put in subtweets here on my damn show. All right, Bam. Okay. Well, again, Reyna, thank you so much for sharing that part.
My name isn't Reyna.
I just cut the name in half. I don't know. Is it even in your panels?
Yes, it says my name is Heavenly in my bio.
How did you even get the Reyna part then?
It's my last name.
Okay, well, I was also built in a all guys high school where we call people by the last names. All right, so
That's actually valid.
Give me a little bit of break here. All right,
That's
Reyna.
valid. That's valid.
Thank
That's
you.
valid.
Thank you there. But
Sorry, the host.
Okay, you make me sound like a hostess cake dessert. All right, I'm already wearing this all yellow Big Bird outfit. Give me a little bit of grace here.
Host. All right, host.
All right, hostess. All right, with the mostess. All right, Emily, I appreciate you sharing so much about your life. I really do. But we're gonna go into the third part of the show, and it is the community questions. I have not vetted any of these questions. There's only one rule to this segment. All right, you don't have to answer any questions you don't want to. I'm going to try my best. Again, exclamation mark Q if you have anything you'd like to say here aloud. Let me write that here for you. First one here is just asking straight up, did you eat? Shake my head. I'm going to flip this one. Did you?
No.
What's for dinner tonight?
I don't know. I'm going to have to find a drive-thru on the way home that's still open.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Taco Bell, maybe a Crunch Wrap.
Oh my gosh. You're speaking my language. That's honestly one of the best. I get it with black beans, though. I take out the meat completely.
Oh, interesting.
Someone put me this one vegetarian put me onto it because they were like, you know, try it out, and I was like, pretty meaty. It still fits the bill. If anything, it's thicker, but hey, whatever. This one is asked every stream, and I'll read it out here, And if you can't answer it outright, I have an alternate way of asking this question, but it is, who is your favorite mod, Heavenly?
Skittles.
Wow, you didn't even hesitate. You didn't even have any. Why Skittles? How is Skittles your favorite?
He's so good. He's so good at what he does.
What does he
He's
do?
the best. He doesn't do anything.
Okay. He's the best at nothing, is what you're telling
He's
me.
banned one person.
Jeez Louises. He's banned one person. Hey, still counts. It's on the board.
Maybe two. I don't know.
This person's asking, right now, Heavenly, how is life going? Tell us about your life. How do you feel about your life and how it's going at this moment?
It feels like, honestly, it's a little bit overwhelming right now. I feel like there's a lot of like life changes that I'm going through that kind of like are stressing me out a little bit. But overall, I would say it's good. And I think I need to take more time to like appreciate the good things. Like I just bought my first car, and that was like a really big thing. So there's amidst like the stress and the overwhelm, there's like a lot of good things happening, and I have a lot of people in my life who are really good.
That's beautiful. I love that. Okay, this is such a weird question. I don't know who's asking this, so apologies.
I bet I do.
If you were a cheese, what type of cheese would you be?
I do not know who asked that. I do not know. I would be Brie. I love Brie.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah. I'd be Brie.
Not enough love for the Brie cheeses there. How do you de-stress when you're offline from Twitch?
I usually watch like a movie or like or something on Netflix or Hulu. Kind of in between like shows right now.
Yeah. What have you been watching?
But, I've just been watching some like random old like like the ensemble movies, like New Year's Eve. What's that other one? What's the What to Expect When You're Expecting? That was a good one. He's Just Not That Into You.
That's a great one. That's classic.
I'm a really big. I don't really like watching new things unless I'm watching it with somebody, because I'm not really sure why. I think it's my attention span or something. But I really only like watching like movies that I've already seen when I'm by myself, but that I haven't seen in a while. So I'm like familiar with it, but it's also nostalgic,
You're hitting a lot of classics when you read the when you list it off your list there. So I feel you on that. What does it say? Hello, guys. My question is, how much do you love? And quote, it's you.
Oh my God, it's humanity.
Yeah, it's humanity. It's humanity in your community?
Not that much, honestly. Not that much.
Why? Whoa, you're already just dogging It's Humanity. They might not even be here. You're just destroying them.
I don't think they're here.
All right, fair play. Well, you got away with it.
They're the one that asked you how to get on the show.
That's a loaded question, all right? That is in its own right. Give us your favorite streaming memory. What's your favorite memory on stream?
Probably when I got surprised with the community video on my birthday. That's probably my favorite.
Oh, tell us about that.
It was like a 30-minute video from like videos from people in my community wishing me like a happy birthday, and it was so nice. It was so unexpected too. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Was there anything there that surprised you when you heard the stories and the words of affirmation from your community?
Oh my God, they got like my friends to be in it.
IRL?
Like my IRL friends.
What? How'd they do that?
Yeah. They like messaged people on Instagram.
That's beautiful.
And they got some people in it that I've never even met. But that I like knew. It was so wild. It was so wild.
That's a loving community right there. All right. That's above and beyond. Someone here wants to know about your experience being a female creator here on this platform, and let me position this question as I give you time to think. All right. Twitch is predominantly male, and from both the creator standpoint as well as the viewer standpoint. And there has been a bigger conversation this past year and a half of the treatment of female oh my gosh, creators here on this platform, I just had a weird moment in my brain. I had a That's So Raven, like thinking about the future of what I'm about to say without even saying it. Thank you. Thank you for knowing that reference. But there has been a lot of narrative about that fact. And so, Heavenly, how has your experience been here on this platform as a female creator?
Honestly, it's been fine. Like I've been really lucky. I think I haven't had any really negative experiences. There's been like, some like strange comments and like trolls over the months I've been live, but for the most part there's never been anything that's made me like truly uncomfortable or like upset or anything. So I think I've been really lucky.
How do you combat the trolls and the spam and the harassment?
Usually with a witty quip or remark.
Okay. Do you remember any?
Or just don't read. Oh my god, somebody called me. Oh, it's like in one of my quotes. It was like a greedy little trash can.
What?
They called me a greedy little trash can.
That's very specific of a burn right there. Okay, was there any theme to this comment?
I don't know. Maybe I was asking for money. I do that a lot. I don't know. I think somebody was like, "You greedy little trash can," and I was like, "Oh, say less."
That's so weird. That's still, to me, that's still an off-putting comment. I don't know why. That throws me off. Heavenly, someone's asking here, what's the hardest part of being a content creator?
I think probably the hardest part is it never turns off. You know what I mean? You kind of always, you're either always doing something or you're feeling bad that you're not doing something.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like
100%. I don't know what it is. It's like, Twitch is like the city that never sleeps. You can go on this platform literally any time in the day and someone is live doing something interesting. All right. Yep. And so if you're not live and doing that as well and putting your hat in the ring, especially as a creator, you kind of feel this weird, you're right, guilt and this weird, like, I should be creating something. If not on Twitch, then maybe somewhere else. So it's 100%. Let me thank the raid here. Hello, all those from Supremo's community. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Streamer Studio. Today's very special guest tonight is musical streamer heavenlyreyna, and we are on the community questions portion of the show. I appreciate you coming through here and joining us here. Let's see here. The question, let me refresh this real quick. Have you ever? Oh, this one's a tough one. I have heard this one before, but someone's asking here, have you ever considered stepping away from Twitch and or content creation?
The funny thing is, I have thought about stepping away from content creation, but I've never thought about stepping away from Twitch.
What do you mean by that?
Because I feel like you can do Twitch without doing content creation. Like you don't have to do everything. You know what I mean? Like you can do one thing and it be okay. Because it can be like very overwhelming, but Twitch is always like obviously like Twitch is my main form of income. Twitch is like, I've grown this community on here that I don't want to say goodbye to. I don't think I could, And so for those reasons, like I don't think I would ever think of stepping away from Twitch,
Okay, I like that. This one's asking, do you have any wild stories living overseas, both in the UK and in Asia? Do you have any story, and wild can be subjective. It's up to you, whatever you think is wild, whether it be an adventure, maybe it's something new, any of that.
The first thing that comes to mind is, so I went to school in Malaysia, and I went to an all-Chinese school, and I was the only Caucasian person in the entire school, and it was like 1,000 kids. And there were a lot of people from different countries in Asia that also went to the school, because a lot of parents would send their kids there to because it was also a boarding school. A lot of parents would send their kids there to get like disciplined and like kind of like back in line kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of kids from Thailand who got sent there because Thai kids are apparently very just like rebellious, and like the culture is not as strict as like the Chinese culture. And so on like probably my first week of going to that school, I was 10. And everybody there was at least like 14, 15 because it was a high school. And there was this one kid who we had to wear uniforms, like, and like all the guys had to wear ties.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I don't know if he wasn't wearing his tie properly or his like shirt wasn't tucked in. It was like something like that. And we have discipline masters at the school. We have 4 discipline masters. And they're kind of the ones in charge of, you know, punishment and keeping people in line and you know, what's the term?
I mean,
banging the hammer. You know, what is it?
Bringing the hammer down? Yeah,
bringing the hammer down.
Mm-hmm.
And we had this one dude who was like 70, and he was like the head of discipline. And he was very scary. And he was like yelling. I don't think he was like yelling, but he was like being very stern and like with this guy about like him tucking in his shirt. And this kid he like pushes the discipline master up against the wall and he starts choking him.
Whoa.
I kid you not. I was standing right there. It was insane. It was like my 3rd or 4th day there.
And what did
It's like my 3rd. I didn't do anything. I mean, like, I was like 4'9".
Yeah.
I was like,
you just watched it happen. You're just like, hey, what
yeah.
was going
Well, I
through
mean,
your
they
head?
intervened. They intervened within like 5 seconds. You
Sure.
know. So it was like it wasn't going on for very long, but it was still like very like surprising to see.
What a title! What a title on your resume. Hi, I'm Mom's the host. I was formerly the discipline master at a boarding like a school over here. That is so intense. I love that though.
Yeah.
I mess with it. I mess with it.
Yeah.
Someone's asking here, any video games you're playing? Okay, we got to ask the Twitch question, I guess. Is there any video games you are playing, if at all?
Zoo Tycoon, baby.
That's the main. You're not even like, you would think that if you're messing with Zoo, you don't even mess with like Sims or any of that. You don't expand the horizons there. You sticking with 2000 Zoo Tycoon.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem with me right now is I don't live where I stream. I recently like moved out and I'm looking for like an apartment where I can live and stream because I can't stream from where I'm living right now because of like noise and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have my PC unless I'm streaming.
Okay.
So I can't really game at all unless I'm here, and I'm only really here to stream.
I see.
So maybe like at some point I might expand.
Do you game at all? Do you like playing video games at all?
I've never been a huge video game person. Like it's never really been my thing. But I did love like Pixie Hollow, Moshi Monsters, which are like Club Penguin type. I was never a huge Club Penguin person, but like I had my games that I was into, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever mess with Neopets, or is that where did Club Penguin?
I never really did mess with Neopets. I am familiar with it, but I've never really did. Also, Pop Tropica was like something I dabbled in a bit.
I don't think that's a sentence I was prepared to hear. I dabbled in Pop Tropica. That is not at all what I was expecting here, but fair play. Nice. All right. Someone's asking here, where else can we find your content since we can't see your VODs? All right. So maybe let's reiterate this one more time. Where else can we find your content since we can't see your VODs?
The majority of my like Twitch content is just kept in clips. But if you're looking for like more like musical, like singing content, I have a Patreon that you can join. And I post a lot on like Instagram and like Twitter and stuff. So those are like the main platforms that you can find the other part of my content on. But
I like that. One more question here. All right. One more question. As they're asking here, it says, if not content creation, acting, or music, where would you be in life right now?
Probably in law school.
Really?
That was like what I thought I was going to do up until I was about 13. I thought I was going to go to law school. I wanted to be Elle Woods.
I gotcha. How quickly did that dream appear and then also just move on from your life?
I think from when I was 9 up until I was 13.
Okay.
It was either law, dermatology, or interior design. No, not interior design. Sorry, architecture.
Those are three very different vocations.
Hey, don't put me in a box.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing here. I'm not like most girls, all right? I'm not like I'm. Yeah, please. What? What's the retort there?
I don't think I would have cut it in law school personally. I think I'm too sensitive of a person. I don't think I have the killer instinct in me that it would take to be like a cutthroat lawyer.
Yeah.
I think architecture would have been a good thing.
Where did the other two come from? Where did architecture and you had one more?
Dermatology. I just liked squeezing my face. That's what all dermatologists like to do. That's why they get into it.
You're telling me just one day you did this and you're like, this could be my life. This is it.
It could be. Have you seen Dr. Pimple Popper?
Oh my gosh.
She's happy.
You're part of the problem if you're going to tell me to watch that show. I was having
that
dinner.
Show?
Yeah.
Wait, what is a show, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you mean that show? You act like I was eating dinner. This was before I even came on Twitch. I was eating dinner with my friends in the house that we were in. And one of them puts that show on. It is the vilest. Why would that's up your alley? Heavenly is what I'm hearing. You love a good blackhead and or pimple being squeezed out into submission.
I do. I am part of the problem.
I did not recognize this. I need to do more research on my guest. Clearly, if this is what if I'm allowing
clearly,
this on,
you're not going deep enough in your research.
No, absolute freak here, freak behavior. And then you went with the third part, going from that to architecture or interior design. I'm sorry.
It was architecture.
Architecture. How did you get into that? How was that an idea in your mind that you wanted to pursue?
So growing up, I was always extremely creative with like toys.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved like Playmobiles were like a really big part of my life. And I would like play with like Playmobiles and Legos, and I would build like houses out of Legos. And when I was older, I would build houses out of cardboard. And I had this whole like little mini village that I had built out of cardboard.
And I love how sudden the story ends every time. Like I have to just address this since we're edging towards the end of the show. Heavenly, you did this thing where on a dime, I've never spoken to someone that has that ability. It's fantastic. It's I'm literally on my tippy toes. I wish you could see the bottom half of my body underneath here. I'm literally on the tip of my toes trying to figure out when do I jump in and when does this story end? This is my favorite game I've played so far tonight. I love this so much. But so you've just been creating little towns, not even just houses, little towns in your area. Was there one that you think fondly upon? What was the best cardboard house you've created, and why was it so good to you?
Oh my God, I don't know. I have I made Playmobiles. There's like Playmobiles, right? And they're like about this big, and then they also have these little tiny their toys. Like their toys are about this big, and I made this entire little town with like a mall. Or like a strip mall. Yeah. And like little houses. I made a church out of cardboard and toothpicks. And it was just like this, oh my God, it was impeccable. And I remember finding it when I was like 15 or so, and I took a video and I played the Full House theme song as I was like I was like, whatever happened to predictable, and I was just like, showing it. Like,
that's so dope. Do you have that video still?
I do.
Put that on the Patreon, all right?
Yeah, I should. Honestly. Oh my God, that's such a good idea.
If you need a content manager, all right? If you need help making content, this is what I do, all right? I'm just pumping out shows, ideas, whatever it may be, but I love that so much. That's so
Content manager? Sorry. Yeah. Content manager? Sorry.
Hey, I'm right here, all right? I know some other people that could use it. I know some other, not some really use it. No, you're perfect. I love what you do. Heavenly, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
And sharing your story. It was an absolute blast. Here's the thing though, Heavenly, all right? Much like anything in life, nothing is free. So there are two things I'm going to need from you, all right?
Cool.
Are you
Let me
ready? All right.
watch.
So the first thing I need from you is this. I need you to go on the back end of this. If do you have the stream up? I guess I should.
I do have it out.
Can you go on the back end and check who's watching? Choose a name that isn't myself, a mod, or a current VIP.
Yeesh. Okay, so a person who is not a mod.
Yes, myself or a current VIP. Any name.
Oh, you want me to pick a VIP?
Yes. So right now we're gonna choose. Yeah, any one of them. Anyone that's watching.
You should. Let's see. Who wants it? Who wants it most?
Who wants
Black
it
Diamond
most?
wants it. I think Black Diamond probably wants it the most.
All right. So Black Diamond, you've gotten VIP. How long have you known Black Diamond for?
Like 8 months or so.
8 months. All right.
He kind of came in like a thief in the night, you know?
Yeah. Out of nowhere,
Like,
just showed
Just
up.
out of nowhere. Yep.
All right, perfect. Well, the thing is this, Black Diamond, you've gotten VIP. However, I only have 5 VIPs here. All right, Heavenly. So you're going to remove...
So I have to take one away.
Hey, that's the ticket to entry, all right? You signed up for this show, you're going to be taking it, all right?
Oh my god.
What's the old saying? Heavenly giveth, heavenly takens away. That's exactly
I
what's
brought
happening.
you into this world.
You're taking
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
out. So we have the 5 VIPs there into the chat. We have...
I don't know who any of these people are.
and-
I only recognize 2 names.
And it's okay. It's okay. That's the thing of this is anyone goes. We have Valen Globe, Artist Jupiter, Cassie Froggy, Kaylee Young, and Narupu. Who are you
Let's take
taking?
Narpoo, because poop's gross.
Wow, they just got it this week. Narupu, you are out of here. All right. We don't want to hear it. Don't at me on Twitter about this. I don't make the rules. Heavenly Reyna does this round. All right. All right. So that's the first thing I needed. Thank you so much. Black, you'll be getting it by the show next week. The second one. All right. The second thing I need from you. You've gone through the ringer with me. You've experienced this show. We've been here talking about your life, both online and off, but I'm always looking for content creators all over Twitch to watch, be a part of the community, as well as possibly interview. So I like to trust, because I trust my guests now too, all right, Heavenly? You and I are tied to the hip through this experience. Who is someone that you would like to watch go through this exact same experience and talk about their life online and off?
So I've been like thinking, because I knew you were gonna ask me this, and I've been thinking of it since like I knew you were gonna ask me, and I could not figure out like who I like would be, who I would want to watch, and the name just came to me like as you were explaining what we were about to talk about. But I would love to see her. Her @ on Twitch is Julie Go Live, or it's either Julie Go Live or Julie G Olive. I still don't know which one is the right way to say it, but she is amazing, and she's actually the person she's a variety streamer. She's super, super talented and hilarious. Hilarious. She's so funny. And she deserves to be partnered. I actually don't know if she's partnered yet. She might be partnered by now, but I don't know if she is. She's super talented. And I got the frog hat idea from her because I was watching her stream one day and I was like, oh my God, that's such a cute frog hat. Like, where did you get it? And she was like, I got it from Amazon. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go get one. And then it's become like a staple in my stream now. And yeah, she's amazing. I think you would like her a lot. I think you guys would get along.
I will check her out. Julie G Olive is what I see here from Black Diamond. Thank you so much. I will check her out and definitely add into the list. But Heavenly, thank you so much. Again, like I said, I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
But we have one last segment here. All right. One surprise segment that we have here on this show. Now, this whole thing inside the streamer studio was inspired by a 90s television show called Inside the Actor Studio, where a host and professor, James Lipton, brought in actors, actresses, and entertainers into his auditorium and classroom. And he would do these long-form interviews. He would talk to them for hours on end about their life, both on and off media, from their upbringing to the many awards and accolades they achieved in their life. And for 23 seasons and years, he ran the show, and he ended the show the exact same way. And as an homage to him, I do the exact same thing. He's asked each and every one of his guests the same last 10 questions. So that's what we're going to do here tonight. There's only 3 rules to this part of the show, all right? Then you're off the hook. The 3 rules are this. 1, you have to answer every question. It's non-negotiable, okay? Number 2, is that I'm going to be silent during this portion of the show. So I will read you the question. I will give you a moment to answer it. There'll be a moment of silence, and then I'll read you the next question. And last but not least,
Sounds uncomfortable.
it's a little bit for some people if they don't like silence. It can get weird. The last rule here that I'll need you to abide by is to keep your answer within one thought. So not one word, not one paragraph, one sentence will do. That's all you got to do. After that, I will give you the final word, which you'd like to say to everyone live here on Twitch in the future, as well as we'll disconnect and I'll DM you after the show. Sounds good, Heavenly?
Wee woo.
All right, you ready?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Question 1. What is your favorite word?
Serendipity.
What is your least favorite word?
I don't want to say that word out loud.
What turns you on?
The smell of chlorine.
What turns you off?
Also the smell of chlorine.
What sound or noise do you love?
The sound of someone buying me food on stream.
What sound or noise do you hate?
The sound of the phone hanging up.
What is your favorite curse word?
Shit.
What profession, other than your own, would you like to attempt?
Real estate.
What profession would you not like to do?
Customer service.
And lastly, Heavenly. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Nothing matters anymore.
I like it. I like it. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Heavenlyreyna. Heavenly, there it is. It's as easy as that. That's the show. All right.
The show.
Congrats. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your story with all of us here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And let me leave you with some parting words here before I give you the final say. Heavenly, you're extremely talented. All right. And that was very evident through your story alone, let alone your content. And here's the thing. I remember I made a comment hours ago where I said during that little tweet where you're there as a child and you're dancing around and you're doing your bit there about ducks and trousers. And I said you were made to be in front of a camera. I don't know to what degree, whether that be in acting or music or on Twitch or maybe all three. But for sure, I feel that you are in the right direction. So I want to empower you and implore you to continue moving forward. All right. You have my contact. If there's any way, I would love to know when your music drops, please share it with me. I would love to share it with my community and all the streamers I've interacted with. You have open invites to my other shows, whether that be the network, to the rock, paper, scissors thing. If you'd love, I'd love to have you again. Hopefully we can go further than 2 rounds. But Heavenly, again, I'm extremely humbled by your story. It is amazing that, most can see you as, oh, here's someone who goes live and they're doing beautiful covers. But to hear how diverse and complex your upbringing was, whether we're talking about where you've lived, to your education, to work histories, and even a little bit of that romantic discussion we got to talk about. It's so awesome seeing the complexities of hopefully one of their soon-to-be or favorite streamers here on the platform. So thank you so much. Heavenly, what would you like to say to those watching live here on Twitch, in the future on YouTube, or listening on Spotify?
Take care of yourself. Don't think too much. Don't think too hard.
I love it. I love it. All right. Heavenly, go get something for dinner. All right?
I'm so
You are long
excited.
overdue. But thank you so much. I'll DM you after the show, but you take care,
Okay.
all right? Peace.
Okay,
peace.
have a good one.
You too.
Thanks for having me.
Good night.
Bye.